हेलो एवरीवन, इंटरव्यू देख लेते हैं। हाउ टू इंटरव्यू बिगिंस। व्हेन यू एंटर द बोर्ड, UPSC interview begin. When you enter the board, you will be find yourself standing before five seniors and experienced members sitting. Experienced members sitting opposite you of those, and one will be the chairman of the board, and who happened and to be the one of the member of the UPSC, and quite often the chairman is other retired bureaucrats from IAS, IPS, IFS or some central service. Of the remaining four, two members and happens to be the from bureaucracy, and while two are the domain expert, and those four members and come to on initiative by the UPSC to be the part of the board. Once you are asked to take in your chair, and the chairpersons will engage you in either short conversations for 5 to 7 minutes mostly conversation, raising question related to your biodata, and now as the DAF or detailed application forms. And then he will direct another members and to put his the questions before you. He may also raise and some questions on certain aspect of information furnished and by you in your DAF. Then he will ask questions and relating to economics and governance, international issue, etc. This trade will continue during the remaining part of the interview, and in other words, different questions on economic, health, governance, etc. During the remaining part of the interview, in other words, different questions on economic, health, governance, etc. will be the posed by the all members, and moreover, certain when known question regarding your choice for civil service as other career, hypothetical questions like how you will act in other giving status situations, how will you tackle corona in your districts if you are the district collector, are bound to be the raised. And during this kind of the conversations, and there will be the situations where the member and members will disagreed with you and on your positions. You must remember it is the part of the interview process, and disagreement is designed to test your balanced responses. How your performance is assessed. After you leave the interview room, and the chairman will give his the comments and on your the performance to other members. The other member will also submit and their the assessment of your performance, keeping in mind how they have been the allocating marks to the previous candidates. They will arrive at other certain allocations and of marks to you, rather than judging your performance on various sufficient yardsticks, and they will the judge you on the basis of your overall personality projections. A good performance is one in which you are able to convince the board and with your crisp, precise answer and impress them with your personality traits. A bad performance is one where you appears unsure about your stand on an issue or the contact yourself, or basic information expected of you. An average performance is one whereas in you are found to be the person of medium caliber lacking outstanding qualities. probables and areas of questions, and the proper understandings of the kind of questions being asked to the majority of candidates in the past several years makes it easier to anticipate what questions you are likely to be the asked in your an interview. Of course, not all the areas or the questions can he predicted, as there will be the always be the some unpredictable questions to be the release, and you should prepare for the predictable questions and not the unpredictable ones in any the case. And as far as the unpredictable questions are concerned, even if you are not able to answer some of them, it is not going to impact your interview so long as you are strong enough in the predictables and part of the questions. Some of the probable questions will be on the following topics. DAF. You are required to furnish in your DAF and a variety of detail regarding your parental educational backgrounds and your job's description, if any, your hobbies and extracurricular activities, choice of services, and preference for cadre, and thus your DAF attract the members and most, and they not only forms an opinion about your through your DAF, but also raise question on the basis of information furnished by you in it. Be very careful to furnish them those information with accuracy and honesty. Never commits yourself to anything in DAF which is difficult to depend or justice since you have on your own provided, and those information you are supposed to the dependent them. Consult some knowledgeable and persons to the formulated your answer on DAF. Your state question on your state relating to its economic law and orders and issues of governance, cultures, history, etc. are bounded to crop up a cube brush and up on those issues from the authentical sources is highly desirable. For example, if you belonging to Bihar, its history in terms of big empires and like the Maurya empires and birth of the Buddhism, Jainism, and maybe the asked Bihar backgroundness and caste riddles and politics and head governance will be taken up by the board and members during the conversations, and your views and will be the elicited and on the same recent issues like impact of profitables and recently passed Bihar Police Act, and will the surely be the ask taking other cue from this example. And you should prepare for your respective status national issues. This will be an important part of the interview conversations, and COVID related health issues, governance changes and posed by COVID, and measures being taken to the revive the economic farms bills, and issues of protect downgradings and of Indian democracy by the international watchdogs, and rise in Naxal violence, governance challenges imposed by the COVID national issues. COVID and measures being national issues being taken to the revive the economic farms and bills, and issues of the protect and downgrading of Indian democracy and by the international watchdogs, and rise in the Naxal violence, and a host of the others recent issues will be on the plate. International issues, a lot has other happens on the international original in the last several months, and China's related issues, US elections, JCPOA, and the Iran's cyber attack by the China and Israel, and Abraham Accord, vaccine diplomacy, role of the WHO during the pandemic, Brexit and its the implications and for UK, EU and India, Indian foreign policy and its the relationships and with the neighbors, especially recent and disagreement and on lake between the India and the China and ceasefire and LOC and between the India and the Pakistan trade issues with the Pakistan Indo-Nepal's issues and 50 years of the Bangladesh and independence, devolutions of power in the Sri Lankas and etc. are going to be some of the areas and on what questions will be the raised and one should list our several more and such the issues and the more different questions and answer on those issues. Conversational questions. Candidate always wonder as to the what stand to take on the conversions issues. For example, how to answer question on farms laws and which are so controversial or what stand to take on the reservation politics and on such issues the rebellions strikes extreme type of the stand should be the avoided and middle path and should be chosen by adopting moderate opinions. You can always disagree with government stand on an issues and but never sound politically opposed or the motivated because you are the supposed to be neutral or unbiased and as other civil servants. The key here is to make a list of the controversies and issues and frames probables and questions and the agricultural stand beforehand so that you don't have to improvise it during interview while answering questions on the above issues and you must sound and authentic and well informations. You must appear to be in the oppositions of criticals and analysis mind with keen interested on the issues of government public import and even if you don't have in-depth and knowledge of the subject it's the fundamentals should be clear to you. Your optional paper. The board will be get to know and about your optional paper from your DAF. They may or may not tested you on the your optionals paper and but you must anticipate a few questions and prepare their answer. Usually the questions on the optionals papers are not the specialized and but of other generals and national natures and they may want to know why you have opted and for it and it's the applications and in the administration's current development in the subject if any. Finally, just preparing on the expected areas is not the completed preparation for the interview. It's about the projection of your true authentic and real personality and therefore try to the reveal the real attributed of other goods personality during the interview sessions and remembers interview sessions is not an the extraordinary event. There will be no extraordinary expectations and from you by the board members and it is going to be just other normal dialogues and between you and the members and in other comfortable atmospheres. So no need and to the act before the board and as someone which you are not and present you are the normal self rather than trying to impress the board and by over the projections of your personality. Qualities to be issued during the UPSC interview. We and the Manoj K. Jha. Many interview sessions follow as the well and structures patterns but IS interview It's not about a mere questions and answer sessions, a test of the knowledge and pantheon environment, a detailed attempt to pin you down by the difficult questions and having the extraordinary expectations from you. Quality to be assessed during the interview. UPSC very time in its the notifications and outlines and the board qualities and that will be the assumed during the interview sessions, and thus the qualities are the explained below for better understanding. Mental alertness. Mental alertness meaning being at the times and place. A wholehearted and presence and engagement in our other words. It is about presence of mind and which is opposites of absent mindedness. Once or twice you may politely ask the board members, and sir, please tell me the questions again, but repeatedly missing the points, and that me the questions again but repeatedly missing the point, and the query significant lack of mental alertness. Also failing to understand the context and indications as to the why other questions has been asked, and also missing occasionals and hint related to queries from board members can be taken as lack of mental alertness. Critical power of assimilations. This is not just about I have read or I know, what also about the whether you have reflected and the introspected and examine and weightage to understand matters of the fact and downs reasonable conclusions. Clear and logical expositions. You can be clear in expositions only if you understand things, and logical expositions also means that the anything that you say should not be the devoid of orders and first things and first follow why next important one be. But simple listening of relevant fact cues the reasons etc while answering. It is about avoiding the vagueness and the trading your statement as axiomatic, as if everybody should accept and it without suspecting, and with convenient clarity and logical expositions conveniences the listener, or at the least you make your point, and whether they agree or not you have and the explanations for what you say. Interview guideline series 1. Balance of judgment. Being judgment about any event, things or persons on the basis of limited understanding, inadequate facts, prejudice and preferences or views, if greatest of all the intellectual features. Before we judge, we must try to take a neutral and honest positions on one hand, and a proper sense and understanding of growth ground realities. Balance of judgment can be the achieved by the considering pro and cons, good and bad, cost and benefits, and morals, ethicals, as well as long term implications of a thing's policies, measures, or other things or other positions that we take. Availability for social cohesion and leaderships. A prospective civil servant should have the mindset and attitude to understand the need and importance of social cohesion while fulfilling his duties, and in all his public utterance and posturings and interactions. And India is other country and which stand for unity in diversity, and our the constitutional value also signify that, and this awareness and should be the reflected in the through and actions of other civil servant. Leadership is about now the path and showing the path and leading but it is not and just about the flaying the problems, but also the about willingness and availability to find solutions. Leaderships is also about team spiriting, giving due considerations and credit to all the stakeholders, and it is also about being cool, claim patient and optimizing, and it is also about being cool, calm, patient and optimistic. It is also about endurance and resilience. It is also about giving and the ensuring maximum benefits to maximum people at the same time, avoiding being the populist or irrationals, and especially with regard to the optimizations of the resources and there's the outcomes. Last but not the least, the leader is one who, through his the sincerely honesty and the integrity and hard work, become other role models for the public. And thus things must be the reflected in our the thought process, intellectual and moral integrity. A public servant elicites and trust and the credibility and the conflict among pupils. If her moral and intellectual integrity is above the board and beyond doubt, this not only makes the civil servants the perfect role models, and but also the makes governance and more human and worthy. So IS interview is about judging your authentic self, and interactive friendly session extracting viewers opinion and stand on vital issues, exploring the quality of the honest integrity commitment leaderships, etc. Testing you more on where's and you now rather than where you do not now. भरोसा नहीं है।